Hello everyone, Happy New Year! I am TribalInstincts, and here we are reviewing BattleSky VR. And I'm doing this live. There's a link in the description if you want to see the awkward build-up to this. I'm doing this live, which is why I have this headset on so that the stream people can hear it as well. So forgive me, I'm going to do this review in one take. This is one of those efforts that I'm going to be taking to try to make it to where I can release more content by spending less time after I'm done recording. Right now, the editing process takes a long time, so we're going to do this in one take. And hopefully the review content is still going to be good. I spent the last 15, 20 minutes going through and kind of talking with the chat and kind of building up my bullet points of what is good, what's not, what needs to happen. Also, I had one of the developers in the chat, and he is also being incredibly responsive and like thinking about some things and taking some good feedback. So already the developer gets bonus points, not just for giving us a key to play this today, but also for just being a responsive developer. Like that makes such a difference in an early access game. People that are willing to take feedback, those games go so much farther than games that don't. So here we go. So let's talk about BattleSky VR. So first off, let's describe this game. This game, as of right now, in the early access that I've played, which understand that there's at least sometime, I don't know actually, they say January of 2018, there's some time before this game comes out for them to make some changes, so I'm hopeful that there's going to be some updates to it before then. So I'm just reviewing what we have right now, which is a flying first-person shooter. Now, we've played a few of these before, and all of them have been some levels of meh to pretty cool. This one is a lot better. This one was fantastic. There were some bugs, there were some issues, but for the most part, this game, let's just capture this point first, was fun. There needs to be some more game modes, okay? So right now it is just a first-person shooter, free-for-all deathmatch game. This needs more, okay? So that's one of the key feedbacks that I have for this game is that there needs some more game modes to make it so that there's more reasons to come back and keep on playing, and there needs to be some more things to add to it so that we don't have the same issue with just VR not having the player base that it needs to support some of these games. But all of those points aside, the gameplay that I had was a lot of fun. They have two different characters that you can play right now. You have Jet 9, which is Iron Man. Okay, this guy is just Iron Man, and it was a fantastic implementation of that. The controls, you have jetpacks in your hand, and wherever you're pointing each of your hand, it applies a force to you. So you point them straight down, you go up. You point them behind, you go forward, right? Standard Iron Man mechanics as if you have a propulsion out of your hand. That was a awesome movement mechanic. In addition, you also have Draco, which is a dragon, which you have to flap your wings, which my arms are still feeling it from this because I have developer arms, okay? I'm sorry, you can judge me, it's okay. But that movement mechanic, that, while it was exhausting, was probably one of the most enjoyable flying things that I've done so far. It felt great. Flying around, you can move around with just the flying, you could glide. But the flying was also used for the combat. So if you get above somebody, you look down and you hold your wings and you use your attack, you zoom towards the guy and you do a dive attack. And first thing I would think whenever I hear that is, wow, that's going to make me vomit. None. Okay, moving on to the next very important piece of this. Zero nausea after the hour I think that we were playing this, and I was going nuts. Okay, there's a link in the description for the live stream. I was going absolutely all over, moving as fast as I could, doing turns, everything else, no nausea. So unbelievable job on their front to doing that. No issues on that whatsoever. So don't worry, even if you get nauseous in some games, like, I don't think this is a really concern. I think a very small subset are going to have an issue in this at all. So awesome job. And that goes for both characters, Draco and Jet 9. So going back to the controls a little bit more. So the movement mechanics, awesome job across the board. I really, really enjoyed it. Some of the fighting controls were not incredibly intuitive. I think that was my fault for not reading the instructions ahead of time. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe some better idiot proofing could be in the future, so that way you don't ignore it. But first, some advice: read the instructions. Maybe that would have helped. Specifically for Jet 9, Draco's attack and everything else, it felt very intuitive. Like it just felt good. Jet 9's, the Iron Man guy, that felt a little bit less obvious what all the controls are supposed to be doing. So some work that could be done there. But I think that was probably just my fault more than anything else. All right, like I said, I'm doing this live, so things aren't going to be quite as smooth as normal, but let's go ahead and move off into some of the sound department, okay? This is probably the One of the larger drawbacks right now is that the firing mechanics is very repetitive, so it's not, I mean, you ignore it after a while. However, it is somewhat obnoxious. I think something could be done there, some more variety. I don't actually know what the right solution to this is, but for the most part, while the sound itself was kind of annoying after a while, the positional audio was very good. You know, I knew that somebody was firing at me behind me, and I could turn around. So for that, awesome job. That really helped in this kind of game, especially whenever you have enemies that are all over you. Very important to know where they are whenever you're getting attacked. They didn't use the typical blood splatter to tell you where you're getting shot from. You just had to go off the audio. So that definitely worked in their favor. Moving on to the environment, they have one level right now. They are planning on adding more as early access goes on. However, right now they have like this floating islands. What is it? Avatars. What was the name of the planet? I'm drawing a blank. But anyway, you understand, like the floating rock formations with like the bridges through it, right? Just picture that. Or I could just like throw a link in the description for timestamps. But anyway, that's technology. So the environment itself, beautiful. I do think that there needs to be some more work to make the environment a little bit more interactive. I don't mean like picking up the environment, but I just mean right now you have this big thing in the middle with a little bit of an offshoot but for the most part, all of the action is taking like place around the island, not actually using the environment at all. It was just sort of like an obstacle. Like if you're trying to go from point A to point B, you had to go around. And so I think that like the environment being as gorgeous as it was, I would like to actually have a reason to go in it and move around. So having a lot more of like the floating islands around it, I think would be great. That way you could go behind cover and do some other things. So some work could be done there, but for the most part, like this is a very, very promising first draft of this, because I've seen a lot of games that come out and it's just like, that's a block, it's just floating in space. This was very, very interesting to look at, but it just kind of lost. It didn't really have an effect on the gameplay. Like it really could have just been a game of all of us floating in space, and it wouldn't have felt too very different. So I would like to use that environment more than what is currently doing. What else? Nope, I think that's actually, for the most part, it. Going through my bullet points. Graphics, check. Sound, check. Oh, wait, no, not check on the graphics. The environment itself, we already talked about that, but the player models! So you don't get a whole lot of close-up look on most of them while you're fighting. However, they are gorgeous. The dragon is fantastic looking. They did an awesome job of modeling this. They obviously have a fantastic artist going through this. I'm assuming, I don't know that they didn't use standard assets. I'm assuming they didn't, because they all just worked and everything was modeled very well and you could actually move things. So anyway, ignore all that. Like I said, this is a live stream, so awkward stuff comes up. But the Iron Man guy, he looked great. And not only that, they have a new character that's coming out. I didn't get a chance to play her because she's not there yet, but she looked kind of like a pirate, and she looked gorgeous. Like I'd date her. Like just. Probably cut that, but we're doing it live. But anyway, so excellent job on the models, gorgeous models all around. So now we've covered the graphics. Oh no, one other point: the projectiles, they were just kind of bland. For the most part, I would say that they spent like all of their goodness on their character models and their environments. They could use a little bit more love to the projectiles, because once they fire it out, it's just like these little red bolts that kind of go off, and that's pretty much it. Check my notes one more time. Yes, game modes. So right now it is just a first-person shooter. Talked with the developer, and they are already planning on this, but it would be really nice to have some additional kinds of content for the game, because you do kind of get some kind of content fatigue fairly quickly in just a first-person free-for-all. Having objective-based games, I think, would be going from this game is a probable buy to this game is an absolute buy. Like if they do some good like team-based objectives with this, it would already be a solid sell. So they're talking right now, and don't quote me on this, but it's looking at a $12.99 price point. As it is right now, it is a cautious recommendation. I think the game has huge potential, so I think this game could go places. However, because this is a heavily focused online multiplayer game, in VR right now, I am a little bit worried about the lobby system. Now, they did a great job of making sure that the lobby is interactive. So even if you're just loading in and nobody's there to play with, you can kind of hang out and zoom around. They have some balls that you can hit, that you can fly and go through, like kind of like not a time trial, but there's rings that you can fly through for practice. So that's good. Maybe some more things into the lobby. That way you have something more to do. You know, target practice against AI, things like that, just so that you have something to do to wait for other people to join. That's a recommendation. Some better single-player content is also a recommendation, or making it cross-platform with non-VR players. I know that's a very tough thing to ask for, but that could also be a very interesting thing for this game. So that way, you don't have to have the same issue that all multiplayer VR titles have right now, which is the lobbies, they die, and then so people can't play anything, and so then people leave bad reviews, and then nobody else buys the game, so nobody else is in the lobby. It's just, it is a cycle that is killing a lot of games right now. So I'm worried, which is why it's a cautious recommendation as it is right now. We'll see how it is going forward. So that's it. I think I did this, for the most part, in a not completely, you know, harebrained way. I think it came off fairly well. I don't think I missed any points. I don't think I rambled too very much. So let me know how this is. Is this a type of review that you guys would be okay with? Because if it is, guys, I can start cranking out a lot more videos. This is so much easier than going through and spending, you know, 30 minutes recording and then 5 hours editing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw this up here, leaving this as the review. I'm going to leave a link in the description for the live gameplay. That way you guys can just go and watch it. And if this works, I can start reviewing a lot more things for you. So let me know if this is an acceptable way. If I needed to slow down how I talk, leave me any feedback, guys. Just let me know. I need to find some ways to improve my processes here, and for that, I need y'all's help. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking with me throughout this. It's been an awesome year. I guess I'm going to be releasing this on January 1st, so welcome to 2018. I can't wait to see you over the course of the next year. This has been so much fun. I can't wait to keep on doing it. But for now, guys, I am done here. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please hit the like button below. If you didn't, hit the downvote button and tell me what I can do to make these videos better. And if you want to see more, hit subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.
This is